Have you ever felt the burden of a secret, a story untold, a part of you that remains hidden? This season is your invitation to step into the light, to embrace all parts of your story, even those hidden chapters.
Imagine having resources at your fingertips that support you through every step of your healing journey. That's exactly what you'll get with the You Are Not Your Trauma app. Access guided meditations that find your peace, read inspiring stories that resonate with your experiences, and join a community that truly understands. But that's not all. Dive into the Healing Chronicles and participate in community challenges. It's more than an app. It's a companion on your journey of self-discovery and healing. Download the You Are Not Your Trauma app today and join a community where your story matters and your healing journey is honored. Find us on the App Store and Google Play Store. Your journey to healing starts now.
Welcome to the You Are Not Your Trauma podcast, a show that reminds you that you are not alone, your experiences matter, and you are not defined by what you've been through. Each week, you will hear from the host and invited guests who have either personal or professional experience with trauma. They will share their stories and strategies for overcoming past wounds and beginning the journey toward healing and wholeness. Now, here's your host, a gifted speaker, author, coach, and entrepreneur, Harriet M. Harris.
Welcome back to a brand new season of You Are Not Your Trauma, the podcast that brings hope, healing, and inspiration to those who have experienced life's most challenging moments. I'm your host, Harriet M. Harris, and I am so glad that you're here today. I hope that this show is an important part of your healing journey. Now, I am so excited to be on this season 3 journey with each of you, a season that promises depth, authenticity, and empowerment as we unapologetically and bravely step into our truths, embracing every part of our stories, even those chapters we've hidden for far too long. Now, many of us carry within us stories that are embedded in trauma. Instances that shook us, brought us down, made us hide in the shadows, unsure of our strength, perhaps even unsure of our worth. Have you ever felt the burden of a secret, a story untold, a part of you that remains hidden? This season is your invitation to step into the light, to embrace all parts of your story, even those hidden chapters. Now, in preparing for this empowering new season, I couldn't help but recall the many years that I spent shielding my true self, shrinking in corners and hiding away from my very own truth. My heart often ached under the weight of embarrassment, and my spirit shrank each time I dared to share my story because I felt ashamed. I felt I wouldn't be heard. I felt I wouldn't be believed. But after years of hiding, slowly, I was urged to embrace transparency. Thankfully, it was a gentle but persistent whisper from God that pushed me to that place to be transparent, to own my story, to own my truth, despite my fears, because I had a lot of fears. Now, transparency was really difficult for me, as it probably is for many of you. For me, I just couldn't wrap my head around being transparent after spending decades hiding in plain sight. It took years, and I mean years, for me to grasp the gravity of the heavy yet very simple calling. To set aside my fears, move past my feelings of shame, and unmask the scars as marks not of hurt, but of survival, of endurance, of a spirit unbent and unbroken was not an easy task. It was a journey of evolving, of stepping out from the shadows with my arms wide open, ready to embrace the light that transparency could bring into my life. In those years that I was being encouraged to be transparent, it really took a while, a really long while, for me to understand the depth and the power that came with being transparent. Because trust me, there is so much power in transparency, although we're often led to not being transparent, to hiding our truth. There's so much more power in taking the other route. Now, I couldn't understand how to be transparent. That was a lot of my issue. I didn't know how, I didn't know what that looked like. So I couldn't figure out the how until I could understand why I needed to be transparent. Why was God whispering this into my ear? And here's the thing, I needed to understand that why, because everything begins with the why. Perhaps you've had a why moment, a whisper that urged you to stand in your truth. Now, I want to share my why moment, but after we take a very quick commercial break. We'll be right back.
Want a chance to win exclusive You Are Not Your Trauma merch? Here's how. Leave a rating and a review on your favorite podcast platform and share your thoughts with us. It helps us reach more listeners who may also be seeking healing and growth. Once you left your feedback, visit feedback.youarenotyourtrauma.com to let us know you've entered by entering your info and the word feedback in the message section. You could be a lucky winner. Now stay tuned for today's inspiring episode, and thank you for being a part of the You Are Not Your Trauma community.
Okay, we are back. Now, my why moment. Now, my why was actually revealed, not in a dramatic way, but on a regular Saturday morning as I was preparing to go watch my children play football and cheer at their Saturday afternoon game. I was in the shower when this really profound, clear message literally just went through me as if it was these words were being whispered in my ear. You are not your trauma. Now, for me, I don't know about you, but most of my best ideas almost always come in the shower. So, of course, this one would too. So, for me, it was like I heard them and I'm like, wow. I remember thinking I've never heard this before. Wow, God, you've never told me this before. It was new to my ears. And my guess, looking back now, is because I wasn't ready to receive it before that moment. One thing I knew is that I couldn't forget those words. So as I'm in the shower, I'm saying them over and over again until I finally get out the shower and I could grab my phone and make note of it. Now, in that moment, the full gravity of my assignment was unclear. I had no idea what to do. But what was clear is that those words held a powerful message that needed to be shared with the world. I had no idea how I was going to do it, but I did know what I needed to do. I knew my why. Those words forced me to show up vulnerably and authentically. And as I did, I began to experience an unburdening like I never had before, a release from carrying a weight that was never mine to bear. In this season, I invite you to walk this path of authenticity with me, to stand in your truth, to share your stories, and to find empowerment in transparency. I want you to come to terms with the reality that you are not your trauma. It does not define you. It is not who you are. And your story is bigger and brighter than that part of your life. Take some time and consider what chapters you have hidden away and what it might look like to step into the light of transparency, embracing every part of your unique story. I am so excited. I'm deeply honored and I'm absolutely humbled to walk alongside you on this transformative journey as we dive deeper into understanding the power that lies in owning our stories and in accepting that the adversity that we faced in our life is only a chapter in the story of our lives. It will be our resilience that is going to leave the true legacy. So I want to encourage each and every one of you to take a brave step. Take this brave step. Own your story. Share it without the fear of judgment and experience the freeing power of walking in your truth. Because I can promise you, it is so free to walk in your truth instead of keeping it all in. Recognizing that truth does not define you or your worth. So right here, right now, I want you to take a moment and boldly affirm out loud, I am the master of my feelings, my experiences, and my story. And I have the pen to write my own ending. As we go deeper this season, I encourage you to share your reflections, your stories, and your journey towards transparency with the community. Connect with us on our social media platforms and share your insights. We have various platforms open for you to share your reflections, whether it's through voice notes, email to us, a written email, or just by sharing on social media and using the hashtag You Are Not Your Trauma Stories. I want to hear from you. I want us together to create new empowered narratives. Now, as we wrap up this first episode of this brand new season, I want to leave you with this thought. In life's garden, our stories are seeds, birthed from experiences, watered with our tears, growing towards the sun with roots deep in truth, bearing fruits of freedom and empowerment. Y'all, it is time to embrace the full spectrum of our experiences, to honor our stories, and to use the power of transparency as a tool for healing and empowerment. So, here's to stepping into a new season of deep reflection, of powerful narratives, and most importantly, a season of unveiling, of being seen, and of witnessing each other in our most authentic lights. Now, before we wrap up this episode, I'd like to take one more quick commercial break, and we will be right back.
You have every right to be successful. You have every right to be happy. You have every right to live the life you dream of. But your negative thoughts are holding you back from achieving those things, and it's time to stop listening to them. Sound familiar? If so, then this book is for you. Stop Stopping Your Success, a guided journal to break free from the negative thoughts holding you back from your dreams, is available now on Amazon and BarnesandNoble.com. Or get an author autographed copy at www.stopstoppingyoursuccess.com.
Okay, we are back. Now, to all the listeners out there, thank you so much for tuning in to this week's episode of You Are Not Your Trauma podcast. If you found today's episode helpful, please don't forget to share it with someone who can benefit from the information shared. Also, be sure to subscribe, rate, and review the show. And don't forget to come back next Thursday for the next episode. Check out the website, www.youarenotyourtrauma.com, to leave feedback, request to be a guest on the show, subscribe to the show, get information on show guests, or to get information about advertising on You Are Not Your Trauma podcast. Connect with You Are Not Your Trauma podcast on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at You Are Not Your Trauma podcast. If you have a story to share, please email me at contact@harrietmharris.com. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being you. Welcome to season 3 of You Are Not Your Trauma podcast, the space where you are seen, you are valued, and you are empowered. Until next time, remember, your stories matters. You matter, and you are not your trauma.